Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I'm here with the January Hot Baby Got Scraps, which is a scrappy inspiration YouTube and Instagram hop that we try and do every January so we can use up our scraps. And as you can tell, I really literally only have scraps left. I've even cut up part of the cover page for this Simple Stories Pet Shop Dog collection. I have one 12 by 12 with some circles cut out and some little bits and pieces. I've pulled a 12 by 12 white cardstock to use. And then I have the 12 by 12 sticker sheet, some ephemera, and some of the flatback brads. And then I also have the little page creator. And I have these 3 pictures of my dog and his cookies. 2 of the 4 cookies that he got recently. And I am going to use up as many of these scraps as I can to document that. So I've got my papers, my embellishments, and my pictures. So let's see how this goes. So first things first, I'm just going to trim the branding strip off of this sheet. I needed a couple of circles for a layout that it's a design team layout for scrapbooking the day away. And so I didn't want to do it from the corner. I figured I could use that to mat my paper. So I did gut the inside of that. And then I'm going to use that outside border to mat this layout. So I cut a half an inch off the top and side of my white cardstock. And then I took the branding strip from both those papers and used that on the bottom and then flipped it over and just took scraps of that same paper. I had to extend the red one because it was too short. And so I'm just going to cover where those come together so you won't be able to tell that it is 2 different pieces making that length. So this is one of my favorite things to do, to use up branding strips. And I don't always keep them anymore if they're not the full 12 by 12. And I was about to throw these out, but I thought that this was a good way to use those up. Simple Stories has the branding strip at the top that's like not a full strip, but it's a pretty decent, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 inches long. And so you can still do things with that if you so choose. I've been throwing them away when they're not full 12 by 12 or the ones that have holes in them. Y'all should be proud of me because I definitely have always kept them. I pulled this Tim Holtz stamp and I am just putting that on here kind of carelessly, obviously because the first couple I put on there are upside down. And I don't care because I'm not putting them on there for any in particular reason. It doesn't spell anything as far as I can tell. It's just really just to get some ink on there so that it's not just this big, vast white space. I am going to bring in the stamp one more time for that top, right there, because I wanted a little bit more up at the top. So I wasn't worried, like I said, about it being a clear stamp because I really just wanted to have a little something there, and I could have just done some smushing, but I decided I would just pull. The stamp was sitting next to me and I thought, well, this will work. So, unfortunately, in the end of November, we found out that my dog had cancer and wasn't going to make it much longer. So I took my kids to the pet store and let them buy cookies for their dog. And so I bought one. I let them pick one out for themselves and one for their dad to give him. And because my kids are crazy, my daughter picked a beer bottle. They picked a football for their dad to give them, and my son picked the lovely skeleton. Y'all know how I am with rainbows and how much I love them, so I have the inclusivity cookie because my dog is inclusive. And so that rainbow cookie at the top, of course, is for me. But my son thought that it would be the perfect cookie for his last cookie to be a skeleton, and I mean, bless his little heart. He said he has to deal with his sadness in the only way he knows how. Well, that's okay. His dark humor, bless him. So anyway, the first picture is me giving him his cookie probably a couple days before we took him to the vet for the last time. And the last picture is actually my son giving him his cookie in the vet's office, 30 minutes before we put him down. So it has been a rough week. This is just a few days ago. but it is actually been really helpful for me to go ahead and document the pictures. And so I have been doing that. I have some that are going to be a lot harder to do from this same day, but we'll get to those. But I wanted to use up these scraps, and I felt like this was the good time for that. I did bring in my Ranger enamel accents to cover up the tag hole and that little heart tag at the top, as well as to put a dot in 2 other places, because I'm going to make a little cluster of 3 with that enamel dot, and then the little flat back brads in 2 different sizes. And I just kind of scatter those around. And then I put that little doghouse at the bottom that says Home Sweet Home, because we were sending them home. I thought that those were pretty appropriate, and that's what I decided that I would title this. But then I added some other stickers that say I love treats and things like that. So, and that is it. And then the little word phrase in the middle, which I thought was super appropriate, says, be the person that your dog thinks you are. And I love that. So anyway, I hope y'all join us this month in using up your scraps and getting those on a layout so that you're not wasting and they're not just sitting around in your drawer. And I'm hoping to come back at least a couple times a week for the Baby Got Scraps, and then some other hops as well. So hopefully you all see me again in the next day or so. I hope to be around a whole lot more this month than I have in the last couple of months. So I would love it if you all would give me a thumbs up if you stayed with the video and liked this. I also would love it if you all would come back and see me again. And if you haven't subscribed already, I would love that. I hope that you all have a great day. I hope you get a chance today to do something you love with someone you love, and happy scrapping.